The new OGL 1.1 leak is crazy, and it's changing a lot from the old OGL 1.0, which has been around for well over 20 years, and third-party content creators are understandably upset. Allegedly, the changes to the OGL are being brought around because the Wizards CEO has made the claim that Dungeons & Dragons is under-monetized. Now, I've been waiting for my chance to read the OGL before I got my thoughts out there, and now that I have had a chance to read it, I have to say some of these changes are massive. In word count alone, we're going from a 300-page document to one that's now well over 9,000, and if you want a chance to read this, you can. Somebody was sent a contract, actually quite a few people have, and they are now out in the public. You are able to find this, read it for yourself, and kind of get a better understanding. This one that I got is from Roll for Combat. He took the time to post this, so I'll have a link down below, and if you want, you can check out his channel as well. But let's just continue to talk about some of these changes, and specifically the ones that are getting a lot of pushback from the community. But to sum them up, third-party content creators will now have to report the product they want to make, what they own with that product, and before that they even need to apply to see if they can even use the license to make that product. And the reason for this is because Wizards of the Coast is now claiming the right to use/reprint any third-party content stuff that has been created, and if you've signed this OGL, which you will have to, they're making it retroactive, so the new OGL 1.0 cannot be used. That's the one that's been used so far and why we're able to create this content, but you can't anymore. You need to use the OGL 1.1, and if you sign this, you're also basically agreeing that yes, they can take your stuff, they can use it, and they do not need to pay you for this because it is their stuff, it is under their OGL, they own it. And then on top of that, let's say you go ahead and you have a very successful one and you make over $700,000. They, if you make this, their export tier, you will owe them 20 to 25%. 20% if it's on Kickstarter, 25% if it was done in any other way. And let me just tell you, as someone that's going and currently in the middle of trying to get their own Kickstarter, 20-25% on that amount of money is a lot. Like, the margins on these things are not huge, because you need to have a writer, you need to do the layout, you need to have the art, you need to do a proofread, you need to have production, you need to do shipping. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. That money is not like, oh, this is going into their pocket. So this is just kind of a death sentence for a lot of smaller publishers, even like larger ones, because making 700,000 is a feat. I will agree to that you definitely need to have a level of success to get to that point. But again, that's just for the royalties. The other thing still applies. They still own your content, and they can always terminate it at any time they want, and then it's theirs. And all they need to do is give you a 30-day notice that they are doing this, that they're taking your stuff, and they don't need to pay you anything because, like I said, it's theirs. So, with all of that in mind, I just want to reiterate that this is a leak and Wizards of the Coast hasn't confirmed on it. However, as I said, Kickstarter did say they talked them down from 25% to 20%. So it's a little weird that Wizards of the Coast is not saying anything, but the biggest confirm we got on this leak before that came out, the actual being able to read it online, was Kickstarter saying, hey, we talked them down a little bit. And I don't know if that's a good look. If this comes out, everyone obviously is very, very upset about this. You can probably find so many videos about the OGL saying very similar things to what I'm saying, and yet they've said nothing. It boggles my mind that they're not doing this. The best guess that I have is maybe they put this out just to feel out the community and see how people feel about this. The reason I mention this is because there is a clause that says if people are able to show up and they say, hey, we're in the wrong, don't do this, they are willing to change it. And I've heard that even this one that I showed you, they are looking into it. But this is still just crazy that they would put this out and then not say anything. And it's been, what, a week, 2 weeks? It's getting up there, And so here we are. We're left scratching our head and just kind of seeing, where's the ball going to drop? I myself, as I said, I have my own Kickstarter going. Maybe you've seen the ads for it, for Prime Aegis. I'm left just holding my own hand here and just being like, let's see what happens. We've put in a lot of work, we've moved this forward, and yet here I am just stuck waiting. You know, this is my first time publishing. There's a lot to learn, and then there's this Cobalt coming out of nowhere with no announcements. This was supposed to go live on, I think, January 4th. And yeah, it came out of nowhere, right? This was a contract ready to go. They've been sending out to other people. So even if they do change it, even if this was put out to have people go, this is really bad, they change it, they send it back, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe it's not so bad. Could be what they're doing, but again, this was a contract that was already ready to go, already in circulation, and to the point that, you know, if you have a platform, if you have a voice, or if you want to do something about this, I highly suggest you speak out again about this. Matter of fact, there's even an open letter, OpenDND. This is a hashtag. I'll have a link to this as well. You can go through this, you can read it, sign up, get your voice heard, and you can, you know, hopefully have a bit of an impact about this. But definitely, like, I don't know what's going to happen with the community from this point. You know, Wizard of the Coast not replying, a lot of people very upset, this coming out of nowhere, them not responding, and now you also have, like, for instance, Cobalt Press, who is saying they're going to be making a new rule system. It's just, I don't know if D&D is going to really recover from this in that way, and it's really upsetting to see this happen because of, you know, Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast just, you know, trying to RP as a greedy dragon in this sense. You know, and I agree. They do have a right to make some money from this, but 20 to 25% is insane. And let's also not neglect the fact that this community of third-party creators have made more content than Wizards of the Coast alone could ever hope to make. You know, they're still making sales. They're still getting things driven to them. Like, Dungeons and Dragons is probably the most recognizable tabletop RPG you can get. You know, there's a lot out there. There's Morkborg, there's Pathfinder, there's One Ring, there is so many. And yet Dungeons and Dragons is like the household name, the household staple. And this isn't by accident. You know, it's been the community, the Dungeons and Dragons community, the third-party content creators that are able to just keep innovating and moving things forward. You know, like, even when they went to 4th, didn't quite work out, some people went back to 3rd, Pies of Hunt, and that's where Pathfinder comes from. Well, again, one of the biggest things, because of the Dungeons and Dragons community. So it's just, it's very upsetting to see this just come out of nowhere. So, sorry, I kind of got a little lost in the weeds there, but that's my thoughts. You know, I'm a little passionate about this. I get a little lost. You know, I did write up some of my things, but obviously we went a little off script there. So just have a final summation here. Read it. Read the OGL 1.1. Try to support third-party content creators, you know, because I think the main purpose of this is to just cut out competition. I don't think Wizards of the Coast really care about an extra 10, an extra 100,000 here and there. Like, they're gigantic. I think the main point of this is to stop third-party content creators from being able to make a living doing this. You know, it's not that big of a deal for them. And like I said, and if it is, if that's what it was about, they could have done something a lot more sensible. They could have talked to the community. They could have gone for like 1, 2, 3, 5% royalties if they really wanted to, you know, get a little something here. But they didn't. So that kind of tells me, you know, where they're coming from and what it is that they're trying to do. So definitely support your third-party content creators. Sign the OpenDND letter. Feel free to tweet it as well, OpenDND, with a hashtag, and just make your voice heard, and hopefully Wizard of the Coast, Hasbros will realize what it is that they're doing. Because like I said, backstabbing this community really isn't a good look for them. I don't know if things will ever go back to the way it was, but we can at least hope to get our voices heard and get all that going. As well as if you want to check out my sources, I'll have all of those linked. I'll have the OGL in there as well. And if you want to check out my coming Kickstarter for the Prime Mages Compendium and get ready for that, please join my email list. I can't really tell you what's going to happen from here. I'm pretty much just stuck waiting But if you want updates on that, please do follow that as well. If you want more information, you can like and subscribe to this channel, as I'm going to start looking into other systems. I have another friend who is really big into these. He has a large collection, so we're going to start reading other rules on this, doing probably a playthrough, as well as my usual D&D stream, and then another review as to like our final thoughts or first impressions after playing it. So for more D&D, well, can't say that anymore. For more tabletop role-playing content, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you all guys next time. But until then, I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.